Hey guys, welcome to the first official episode of Classic Seiko. I have these video ideas in mind that I should sort out the vintage or discontinued Seikos and put them into an episode where I feature only vintage, old or discontinued watches. I've done some previous videos with old Seiko watches, but now I want to sort them out so that you can see them easily, since Seiko has a lot of gems, including the one we have here right now. Before that though, let's take a quick look at how Seiko came up with this watch. During the 1940s, the Vulcain Cricket was the first hand-wind mechanical watch to be made with an alarm function, loud enough to be heard but also not too loud that it may affect the movement of the watch. Soon after that, other watch companies such as Jaeger-LeCoultre introduced their own Memovox, became the first automatic alarm, but the rotor can only be charged in one direction. You can commonly see this in vintage Seiko watches such as the 7019 for example, which has an arrow on the rotor, which indicates it only charges when it rotates that way. Based on what I searched online, the Seiko Bell-Matic was the first automatic watch to charge the rotor bidirectionally. Seiko released their own take on mechanical alarm watches in 1966. The Bell-Matic series has two movements, mainly the 4005 and 4006, the former being rarer than the latter since it was only produced from 1968 to 1969. The only difference is that the 4005, ending with a 5, is a date-only complication, and the 4006 with a 6 is a day-date. Same with the 4R35 and 4R36 as an example. Okay, so here is a diagram of the Bell-Matic function if you want to check that out. But this watch is just a really unique and cool looking watch. You can see the dial with the brushed finishing. This is a 4006 6011. I'll open that in a bit. The functions of the watch are simple. When the crown is in the resting position, you just wind it. And you can hear that that's not actually the manual wind, that's charging the alarm function. And you set it on the first position, it rotates counterclockwise. It doesn't do anything. Maybe this one winds the movement, I'm not sure. But this one sets the time, or rather the alarm. So for example, I'll set it to 11 right there, and we'll charge it up. I don't think you can overwind this since I've tried it and it stops clicking after a while. So I'm gonna set the alarm. So in order to set that, I have to pull this back up like that, so you can see. So let's say I set it on 11 and it's going to set off when I release this. Oh, see. Yeah, it vibrates quite well on your wrist. So another function of this is to change the date, which is you press it. I'm not sure if there's a quick set for the day there. I don't think there is. It's quite common with these vintage watches. So now you know how to set the alarm function. Let me show you the inside. Okay, so I've opened up the watch so we can see how this movement works. And there is your 4006. It looks really nice, clean movement for a watch at this age. So this right here is the alarm function of the watch. So I'll just set it so that we can see it move. I've already set the time and I'm going to start it and we'll see how it goes. You see that? That is just amazing. You don't see that often. Okay, so now that we've discussed the quirk of this watch, let's appreciate the beauty. Even if this watch didn't have an alarm feature, it wouldn't make it less attractive. Just the dial and the C-shaped case and the bracelet of this watch looks so unique. But I have to say, vintage Seiko bracelets are not the best feeling, especially on your wrist. They are clanky and light material, which coincides with their vintage feel, but I'm just saying that it's not the best. So here is the watch on my wrist. Really nice presence. And that Bell-Matic function there, that button is very well hidden. It's not popping out. The bracelet design, I like it. This is original to the watch. And I have another example here for you. Bell-Matic with the same reference but is in gold. Now this one is not working, but as you can see it has heavy damage on the dial, which is unfortunate. It also has damage on the case itself. Yeah, it's not working, but all the buttons are there. The movement is inside. It's a bit loose. Still works there. But if I could get it restored, I think it would be usable. But in terms of aesthetic, it is not the most pristine condition. Compared to this one, this is just outstanding. It is a miracle that this watch looks the way it is, coming from the 70s or late 60s. I think these are the types of watches that make the Seiko enthusiast crazy for Seiko, and why modern ones are really far off. Anyway, that's a topic for another video. Other than the watch looking cool on your wrist and also unique, you don't see this every day. And to have one in this pristine condition, or the dial at least, this has an acrylic crystal, screw down case back. This is why I'm starting this series, because there are a ton of vintage Seiko watches out there, underappreciated because they were released pre-YouTube, pre-internet, and I've said that before, and these watches deserve to be shown so that the Seiko enthusiast or non-Seiko enthusiast could see why we love the brand, or at least how we used to. So hey guys, I'd just like to add this video right here because I forgot to mention that the movement of this watch has been swapped. As you can see, when I opened the case, it was 27 jewels, and the dial on this watch shows 17. So that's when I realized that the movement from an earlier JDM version. So yeah, that's the downside of collecting vintage watches. You really have to have the patience, since you're going to expect some imperfections. And in this case, or which I thought was a perfect watch, has a different movement. Well, I think it's an upgrade actually, since it has 27 jewels, but you know, that's just how it is when you collect these watches. I just like to add this in the video because I realized that I have not explained that part of the watch. Happy holidays to everyone, and I'll see you soon. Stay safe.